We figure if we get another one or two of these big banks to actually take out the 2022 lows, it's going to start to get noticed. Instead of all the focus being on one, regional banks, or two, a mismanaged bank. Good excuse for the Fed, you know. And then suddenly the public's going to say, uh-oh, this is getting out of hand.
Welcome to Silver News Daily, your ultimate destination for all things precious metals. If you're passionate about the glimmer of silver and the world of precious metals, you're in the right place. By hitting that magical subscribe button, you're joining a community of like-minded thinkers who see the potential of silver and precious metals shaping the future. Buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into the latest news and updates. In the current financial climate, economic uncertainty often leads investors to seek refuge in tangible assets, silver being a prominent choice due to its dual role as both an industrial metal and a precious investment commodity. The market's recent downward pressure on silver prices could be perceived as a temporary consolidation, creating a foundation for a substantial rebound. When uncertainty looms, be it from geopolitical tensions, market volatility, or fluctuating currency values, silver historically gains luster as a safe haven asset. Coupled with the situation in the Middle East, which, while stable, remains fraught with potential for escalation, investors are watchful. Any significant change could pivot the market towards precious metals, pushing demand and prices up. While the area has not seen new conflicts that could involve major powers, the risk of sudden changes in the geopolitical landscape adds a layer of concern that can sway investors towards assets like silver. Moreover, as markets have observed, silver possesses the propensity for sharp price jumps, often reacting quickly to global economic shifts. This volatility is not always negative. It indicates a market that can rapidly appreciate under the right conditions that the current economic uncertainty may just provide. The interplay between this demand for safe havens and the ongoing geopolitical tensions could be a catalyst for a dramatic rise in silver prices, possibly propelling it towards the $100 mark before the end of the year. In the context of technical analysis, although silver currently shows a consolidation pattern, this is frequently the precursor to a significant breakout. The formation of a bullish flag pattern over an extended period suggests that should silver breach its current resistance levels, there is a technical setup for a powerful upward move. This potential for a swift shift in momentum is why many analysts keep a close eye on silver's performance, particularly in times of broader economic stress. With this in mind, it is prudent to consider the underlying strength of the silver market. Despite the selling pressure and the strengthening US dollar, which typically moves inversely to commodities prices, silver's fundamentals remain robust. The metal's diverse uses in industry, from electronics to solar energy, underpin a consistent demand that can fuel a surge in price when investment interest peaks. Remember, while these insights point to a significant potential for silver's price increase, they are grounded in current market observations and not a guarantee of future performance. As we delve deeper into our discussion, it's essential to consider these points as part of a larger tapestry of market dynamics that could influence silver's trajectory in the months to come. Monetary policy, particularly in the United States, is a key driver of silver prices. As the Federal Reserve grapples with rising inflation, the specter of continued interest rate hikes is evident. While higher interest rates generally strengthen the currency and can dampen the appeal of non-yielding assets like silver, there's a counter-narrative at play. The aggressive rate hikes in an attempt to control inflation could lead to economic slowdown or even a recession, which historically increases the demand for safe haven assets. Silver, although non-yielding, benefits from inflationary environments as it is often seen as a store of value. If inflation persists at high levels, the real yield on bonds remains negative, which can make silver a more attractive investment. Furthermore, should the Federal Reserve signal a more dovish stance due to fears of an overcorrection, this would likely lead to a weaker dollar and stronger silver prices. Currently, the silver market appears to be pricing in the effects of the Fed's hawkish stance. This is reflected in the metals consolidation at lower levels as observed in recent trading sessions. However, given the historical precedent, if the Fed's measures begin to weigh heavily on economic growth, investors might turn to silver as a hedge, providing upward price pressure. Additionally, the ongoing resilience of the U.S. economy, as noted by Minneapolis Fed Bank President Neil Kashkari, may present a complex scenario for silver. On one hand, a strong economy could support industrial demand for the metal, and on the other, it could lead to sustained dollar strength, which typically suppresses precious metal prices. However, the intricacies of Fed communications and policy shifts can cause rapid sentiment changes among traders and investors, with any hint of a pivot away from aggressive tightening potentially serving as a trigger for a silver rally. Silver's price potential in the face of shifting monetary policy is also framed by its historical performance during periods of expansive monetary policy and low interest rates, which were predominant over the past decade. Though the current environment is different, the underlying investor psychology that drove silver to highs in the past remains. The market memory of such rallies can play a role in speculative buying, which in itself can drive prices up as traders anticipate future gains. It's worth noting that the policies of the Federal Reserve are closely interwoven with global central banking trends. As other central banks navigate similar inflationary pressures, their actions can have a ripple effect impacting currency values and investment flows into precious metals. Silver's international pricing in US dollars makes it particularly sensitive to these global monetary currents. In summary, while the immediate effects of monetary tightening are apparent in the current subdued silver prices, the longer-term implications of the Fed's actions, inflation, and economic growth patterns present a complex and potentially bullish picture for the metal. As such, a careful examination of central bank policies and their global ramifications will remain a critical aspect of forecasting silver's price movements. The industrial demand for silver is a significant component of its overall market demand, and this is particularly pertinent as we consider future price movements. Silver has a range of industrial applications due to its electrical and thermal conductivity, reflectivity, and antibacterial properties. It is used in various sectors, including electronics, solar energy, medical applications, and even automotive, where silver-based materials are crucial for electrical connections. In the realm of green technologies, silver plays an indispensable role. The push towards renewable energy sources has led to an increase in the production of solar panels, which utilize silver for their photovoltaic cells. The growth of the solar energy sector could lead to a substantial rise in silver consumption, which may not be fully reflected in its current price. Moreover, the rise of 5G technology and the expanding Internet of Things (IoT) ecosystem are expected to boost the demand for silver. The electronic components required for these technologies often rely on silver for optimal performance due to its superior conductive properties. As the world becomes increasingly connected, the demand for these components, and by extension silver, is likely to increase. Another growing sector that is silver-intensive is the automotive industry, especially with the surge in production of electric vehicles (EVs). Silver is used in various automotive electrical applications, and as the global fleet of EVs expands, so too does the demand for silver. The transition from internal combustion engine vehicles to EVs is a critical factor that could significantly impact silver consumption in the medium to long term. These technological advancements are taking place against the backdrop of a broader push towards sustainability, which is becoming a central focus for industries and governments alike. This trend towards sustainability is not just a passing wave, but a foundational shift in how economies operate, further cementing the role of silver in the future economy. On the supply side, while silver is mined both as a primary product and as a byproduct of other mining activities such as gold, copper, and zinc, there is a concern that current mining activities may not suffice to meet the burgeoning demand. Should industrial demand continue to rise and supply constraints become more pronounced, there could be upward pressure on silver prices. The potential for a supply-demand mismatch in the silver market could be a crucial driver for higher prices. As industries ramp up production to meet the demand for high-tech products and green technologies, silver's role becomes increasingly critical. If this demand growth outpaces the supply response, a tightening market could result, pushing prices toward the speculated $100 mark. Thus, industrial demand and technological advancements present a strong case for a bullish outlook on silver. As we continue to integrate silver into key industrial processes and emerging technologies, its market dynamics are set to evolve, possibly translating into a significant increase in price as we approach the end of the year. Geopolitical tensions often have a tangible impact on commodity prices, with precious metals like silver being no exception. Silver, seen as a haven during times of political unrest, may experience price surges when global tensions rise. Given the current geopolitical climate, with various international disputes and trade tensions, investors may increasingly turn to silver as a protective asset. Additionally, the relationship between the US dollar and silver prices is inversely correlated. As the dollar strengthens, silver prices typically fall, and vice versa. With the US Federal Reserve's recent hawkish stance, there has been upward pressure on the dollar, which has, in the short term, contributed to lower silver prices. However, any shift in monetary policy or economic outlook that results in a weakening dollar could consequently propel silver prices higher. If the markets begin to anticipate a pivot in Fed policy, or if inflationary pressures persist, undermining the dollar's value, silver could see significant gains. Moreover, currency devaluation is not a phenomenon exclusive to the US dollar. In an era of global monetary easing and high inflation rates, many currencies are losing purchasing power. As central banks around the world have expanded their balance sheets, the intrinsic value of fiat currencies is being questioned, and this has historically benefited precious metals as a store of value. Another factor to consider is the escalation of conflicts in the world, which could lead to a flight to safety by investors. For instance, any indication of instability in major oil-producing regions can trigger a chain reaction, where the uncertainty impacts global markets and boosts the allure of precious metals. Furthermore, silver's dual nature as an investment and industrial asset means that geopolitical factors that affect industrial output can also influence silver prices. For example, trade policies that affect manufacturing and technological sectors directly impact the industrial demand for silver. Should geopolitical events lead to disruptions in industrial activity, the price of silver could be affected both by investment flows and by changes in industrial consumption. Taking these factors into account, it's plausible that a confluence of geopolitical events and currency fluctuations could create an environment where silver prices escalate. Investors looking to hedge against currency devaluation and geopolitical risks might increase their silver holdings. As we turn towards the final section, it's important to acknowledge the various forces at play in the silver market. From industrial demand to investment trends, the complexity of these interactions will shape the trajectory of silver prices. With that in mind, let's explore how investment demand could be the final piece of the puzzle in the ascent of silver prices. As we delve into the investment demand for silver, it's worth considering that during times of economic uncertainty and market volatility, investors often seek out safe haven assets. Silver, while more volatile than gold, is still considered a safe haven by many. Given the current economic backdrop with concerns over inflation, potential stock market corrections, and low or negative real interest rates, there's a compelling case to be made for an increase in investment demand for silver. Investor behavior is influenced by market trends and the search for assets that can potentially offer better returns than traditional stocks in a tumultuous market. Silver has the advantage of being a tangible asset that has maintained value over centuries. This historic reliability can drive investor interest, especially among those looking for alternative investment options in a landscape marked by uncertainty. Moreover, the rise of silver-backed exchange-traded funds, ETFs, has provided a convenient avenue for investors to gain exposure to silver without the complexities of physical storage. As more investors become aware of and comfortable with these instruments, the inflow into silver ETFs and similar products could provide a further boost to silver prices. A viral social media campaign or trending news can lead to a surge in investment from retail investors. Platforms that host large communities of investors such as Reddit have already demonstrated the ability to influence markets significantly. Conclusively, a spike in demand stemming from economic concerns and facilitated by modern platforms could be a key driver behind silver reaching the $100 mark. For those closely following the pulse of the silver market, the journey is both exhilarating and unpredictable. If you're keen to stay informed and navigate the waves of the silver market with timely insights, make sure to subscribe to Silver News Daily. Dive into daily updates, analysis, and expert opinions, and join a growing community of silver enthusiasts and investors. Remember, while Silver News Daily is dedicated to providing you with the latest news and analysis, it's crucial to recognize that these updates are not intended to serve as financial or investment advice. Always conduct your own research and consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Stay informed, stay curious, and perhaps most importantly, invest wisely.